Let's start with Red Notice, the Netflix movie that's supposed to be a mega hit. If not, Netflix will consider it a failure because this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest Netflix project that they produced, correct? Until The Gray Man comes out, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I think the budget was like 200 million or some shit like that.
For Red Notice, yeah,
Ridiculous.
this is
Yeah,
insane. But
ridiculous.
that's because of its all-star cast in Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and I'm going to mention Chris Diamantopoulos. How do you say his name? Diamantopoulos.
Yeah, let's just call him Mo from the Three Stooges movie.
Yeah, he plays Mo. I commend him. I think he's a good actor. But for those who don't know, Red Notice is about an Interpol agent who tracks the world's most wanted art thief. And it's supposed to be the next big blockbuster. What did you think of Red Notice, Justin?
I watched Home Sweet Home Alone first, and then I watched Red Notice. And I watched both of these right before I went to work. So Red Notice, when the trailer came out, the posters, the cast, I was like, this is going to be so fucking generic. But I watched it, and I don't know if it was because I watched a really, really horrendous movie, spoiler alert for the next one, and then I watched that. I don't know if it was that or it was just an actual fun movie. I had a good time watching it throughout. And even though like there's nothing new at all that happens, it's a pretty damn unoriginal movie, an unoriginal concept. But you can't deny that Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot together actually kind of worked for me. Like it just like I liked it. I thought that they're all like playing their strengths. And this is actually the first time in a long time I liked a Dwayne Johnson performance too. Because usually I don't like, I think that he kind of phones it in, but I liked him in this. I thought he was pretty, like he was awesome in the action scenes. I also really loved the locations and the shots. Like they have like 3 like epic one shot drone shots that are like pretty damn amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought it was interesting. It's like kind of like if the Rundown met Indiana Jones, and even at towards the end, like Ryan Reynolds is like legit like dressed up like Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
And I just
like,
thought it was funny. I liked it.
Yeah, I remember that scene too. They go into a cave and he just starts like whistling the Indiana Jones theme.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. You used the perfect word when the trailer came out. I thought, oh, a generic Netflix comedy that you're gonna see movie stars in. But I was wrong. I enjoyed this movie too more than I thought I would. But I had I like wrote down one thing for like each character of the main characters. I wrote that Ryan Reynolds somehow makes every single person he acts with like seem better, or like he always makes his counterpart look good because he's so good at what he's doing. And it seems like Gal Gadot and Dwayne Johnson both kind of just deliver their lines, especially Gal Gadot. I feel like she doesn't make definitive choices as a character in most of her movies, but it included in this one because she kind of plays a villain throughout the movie. She's like the one that the two people hate the whole movie. And it works to a point, but she just seems like she's delivering her lines and not thinking about what the person's actually saying. I don't know. There's something like we said before about Gal Gadot's acting being flat. I would have loved someone a little better or more personable, or I don't know, someone with more personality. I don't know what it was, but I really like the cast aside from that note because Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds, they riff really well. And Dwayne Johnson, man. He's enjoyable in this, but he does the job that he needs to do for this. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but this movie is good. And I think Rawson Marshall Thurber did a good job, who's the director and writer, who also did Dodgeball, but he has also made some bad movies.
Central Intelligence. I had a really good time watching it, and I had my hopes, but like I was just not thinking this is gonna be a good movie. I wasn't hoping it was gonna be bad, but I just didn't think it was gonna be anything. But after watching Home Sweet Home Alone, I really needed to watch something else before I went to work.
Yeah,
if
I watched it the opposite way. I watched them back to back, but I watched Red Notice first and then Home Sweet Home Alone. So
there you go.
what would you rate that? Well, okay, so we both seem to pretty much like Red Notice. What would you give it out of 10? I thought it was enjoyable, so I'll go first. I would give it like probably like a 7 out of 10. Like it's enjoyable.
That's
It's above average. Like you said, that drone, they have a couple really, really good drone shots that the first time I saw that type of shot recently was the ambulance trailer from Michael Bay. And I was intrigued by that shot in the trailer of Ambulance. And then when I saw them do it in like a full cinematic way in this movie, Red Notice, I was blown away because that's like probably like a new what is it called? Technique that is growing traction right now. And I'm very excited for that.
I can't imagine how long that they took to shoot that scene. Like it's a technically amazing.
Yeah, it makes sense why the budget was so big because, like you said, the locations and everything too. Like it's a big film. And I asked my family to go see it in theaters, but they had all already seen it. They're like, yeah, we already saw it on Netflix. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it at Netflix. But I had just gotten back from seeing a movie in theaters, so we still had like popcorn and stuff. We brought it all home and just continued the movie night.
There you go.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 for both of us then.
Yep. Yeah. Red. I definitely. I would not mind if this became like a franchise. Like I said, Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson together is actually, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. And the action sequences are fucking amazing too. Like,
yes,
for a guy who did comedy most of his career, the director, like he's actually really good at directing fight sequences, and he's not like obsessed with like explosions and shit. It's like it's all like very. It's like just hand in hand combat, and it was actually like pretty cool and kind of spoilerish, I guess so. But like this movie has like twists and turns, but there was one thing towards the end that actually surprised me. Really? I don't know if I'm just stupid. I didn't see it coming at all.
Oh, was it the last big one? The last big one? Yeah. I didn't see that coming either.
Coming at all.
I didn't see that coming.
And I love it when movies do that to me. That's why I love con artist movies too, because there's always something like that. And usually I'm good at picking that out.
Yeah, because it messes with you a lot too. Because there's like parts where I'm like poking holes in the story. I'm like, well, how would that make sense? And by the time it gets to that point, all those holes are it makes sense kind of actually. And I like that.
Yeah, no, I did too. Yeah, no, I really, really, really enjoyed Red Notice. I did.
Cool. Well, that's the review of Red Notice. Hopefully you guys watch it. If you guys did, let us know what you thought.